Hey YouTube, I'm Tristan from Smart Home Point. In my previous video I spoke through a few different options that are open to us to actually have smart LED light strips. And for my particular use case, which is that I've got a run along my kitchen cabinet which is broken by a dishwasher, I decided that none of the off-the-shelf solutions are really suitable for me. And as a result I decided to build my own LED light strip. So this video just talks through how you can actually do that. So in general it's actually fairly easy. You'll buy an LED light strip. It probably comes with some sort of end connector of some sort. And all you need to do, in this case I'd need to cut the wires and strip them. But you just put them into your Glidopto controller where it says white, the white cable goes into that, where it says blue, the blue cable goes into that, etc. And then you actually just power on the device. You can either plug it in or you can hardwire it, sorry. It's completely up to you. And that works really well, it's really easy to do. But obviously in my case it's slightly more complicated because I've got that gap in the middle for my dishwasher. So what I have to do is I've got an LED light strip on the right hand side and an LED light strip on the left hand side. I then want to actually run two sets of cables down behind my dishwasher, and then I will connect the two cables up in the back of my dishwasher to my Glidopto controller and then power it on. And that's how I'll actually link my two LED light strips. So it's slightly more effort than just having a single long run where you plug it in, but not much. All you're doing is extending some cables down behind something via soldering or another method, which I'll talk about now. And then you literally join them up at the other end. And you've got quite a lot of space here to actually put multiple cables in. And it's really thin sort of strand type cable. So it's really easy to fit multiple LED light strip cables into this. Okay. So for my particular purpose, I'll have an LED light strip and they've already come pre-wired with this end connector. But if they don't have that, if your LED light strip doesn't have an end connector like this, you might just have a bare end, then what you can actually do is use what's called a hippo cable. And a hippo cable is really easy to do. You literally put one end of the LED strip into the hippo connector and you bite down, and then you get your wire, you put in there and you bite down again, and you actually end up with, got too much here, what you end up with is an LED strip which has something like that. So you've got your hippo connector there that's bit down into the LED light strip, and it creates a connection from the back, from the cut end, and then you got your wires coming out. And from there, I could do that on both. Obviously this could be a really long length of wire. I do that on my other LED strip as well, and then I just need to connect them in the back as needed. So it's quite easy to do, hippo connectors. And certainly if your LED light strip doesn't come with any end connectors, then hippo connectors are really worth using. But in my case, the LED light strips that I've bought do have some sort of cut end. They do have some sort of end connector. They don't just have a cut end. Okay, so in terms of using this end connector, obviously this isn't long enough to go behind my dishwasher on both sides, obviously. So I've done, on eBay, I bought a 5-core LED light strip cable. It was really cheap. I think it was like 5 meters for £5, which is around $6. It's really cheap. What I'll actually be doing is cutting this particular wire, the end connector wire. I'll be joining them up and then running this down on each side of the dishwasher. And then at the other side behind my dishwasher, I'll be stripping this cable back on both sides for both LED strips essentially, going into the Glidopto controller and then powering it on. There's a lot of space in the actual Glidopto controller, and the strands core in this is really thin, so it's really easy to get two sets of core cable going into each particular bit here. So that'll work really well. In terms of how I actually connect this cable to this cable, you've got two main options. You can obviously cut them both, splice them and solder, or you can use some sort of connector block, whether that's a traditional terminal block or something like a Wago connector. However you do it is completely up to you. But once that's spliced on both ends, it'll be a case of just wiring it up into the Glidopto controller. And I'll show you all this in this video. So the way I'll actually be connecting these two cables together is by soldering. It's not much more effort really than using Wago connectors, and it's going to be a lot more streamlined. It's going to use a lot less space. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so whilst my soldering iron warms up, what I'll do, I'll just make sure that I've stripped the relevant ends of my particular cable. So this is from my LED light strip, and this is from this is the cable I'll be running behind my dishwasher. Okay, yeah, that's a good length for taking off. Then I want to do the same with this, but obviously cut off the end first. That's all cut off. And then I want to cut the end off as well, like I just done, strip the end of the cable. Get rid of that. Okay, so that's still heating up. Right, so I want to actually separate the individual bits of this cable, make sure I've got enough space to work with when I'm actually soldering everything. Comes apart quite easy. Okay. And then I'll do the same thing with this as well. This is the cable, this is going to be going behind my dishwasher. Okay, so the main thing you want to do is splice the actual individual cables together. I must admit I'm not amazing at this, just to twist them together. So make sure that's actually resting on here. So you want to make sure they've got a nice connection and that all the parts are actually wound together. You want to make sure there's no these aren't pulling apart. So I want to rest them on the table sufficiently. Okay, so it's got a nice connection, it's not pulling apart. You can see it's all sort of wound together. So just get those cables out of the way. Make sure they're nowhere near. Right. Okay, so the next thing to do is actually just run this solder onto the cable to make sure there's a good connection. I'm not the best at soldering. Okay. Okay. And now that's done, and I literally need to repeat the exact same process with the other cables as well. So I'll just do that now. Once you're done, you'll have something like this, but you don't want to just leave the bare wires exposed. You want to actually use electrical tape or heat shrink wrap to actually protect them further. Okay, so at this point now I've got my two different LED light strips with a soldered connection on both, and then a run that can go behind my dishwasher, and then I need to actually connect them to a Glidopto controller. Now, you might notice at this stage I've actually got two Glidopto controllers, and that's because I was originally waving around this one, the RGB CCT one, but that actually requires 6 different pins going into it. And actually, I only bought 5 wire or 5 pin LED wire cable. What that means is if I was to wire it up, whilst it would come on, as I've shown in a previous video, I don't actually have a connection for C, which is cool white. So what that means is I wouldn't really be able to change between the two different color temperatures, white and cool white. So I probably will still use this for a different LED light strip, but I've gone out and actually bought the correct Glidopto controller for my LED light strips, which is a 5-pin controller, which you can see here. And in terms of wiring it up, it's really easy. You've got the white, which is white, blue, which goes into blue, green, which goes into green, red, which goes into red. It's just the other way around at that point. And then V plus is black. This is just positive connection. And obviously, I'll be wiring both up. I'll be actually wiring both up into the Glidopto controller. So in essence, I'll splice these cables, connect them together, wire them in, and then plug this on. Okay, so that's my plan. Let's get to it. So firstly, I'll make sure I just create strands here, just to make it easier for me to separate everything for now. Okay, so now everything's nicely separated out. I'll probably just do one cable at a time, one wire at a time. It'll just make it easier. So let's just spin it around. And the easiest way for me to do this is actually just to connect these two cables together before I put in the Glidopto controller. It doesn't need to be a great sort of connection, and I could put both in separately, but in my case I'm just connecting them just so it's going to be an easy connection because the individual strands are fairly thin, so I thought I wanted to connect them both together first. Okay, so I'll put them into the actual connection here, and then the main thing I need to do is press in on this white section. So I'll just get a flathead screwdriver and push in. I'll do it on the floor actually. Okay, so at that point now there's a solid connection, they're not pulling out, and I now simply need to repeat the process with the other cables as well. Okay, that's all done, all finalised. You've got the individual cables going in, as you can see, and then you've just got the two LED light strips. So they're all connected together. Okay, so with that all wired up, the next thing to do is literally to get my power cable and put in here. I could also splice this cable and hardwire it if I want, but this hardwiring option in my opinion is better if you've actually got cables, you know, running from your electrical house grid. Obviously in my case I've got a power adapter which works fine, so I'm just going to use that instead. So just plug it in, it's already on the wall, and there you have it. So the actual LED light strips all light up, there you have it. So they all light up, which is brilliant. So you can see all the individual cables are wired up here, and then you can see the actual individual diodes have come on here, and have also come on here as well. You can actually see individual coloured diodes along there, so that's really good. So now I'll switch over to the Hue app, and I'll actually import this in. Okay, so let's launch the Hue app. So let's go into my settings, and under light setup, I want to say add a new light up here. That's not a very good arrow. Let's click on add new light and search, and because this is a Glidopto Zigbee controller, it should find it. Sometimes it can take up to a minute. Brilliant, there we are. So it's actually now worked, you can see, and because this is not a CCT device, in other words it doesn't merge the two profiles together, it actually comes as two separate lights. So extended colour light and dimmable light. In other words, the first one is for the RGB, for the colour, and then the second one is for the white. Okay, so I'm going to give them names. Kitchen light strip colour. You can see also it's coming up as the manufacturer and the model number. So that's going to be that. What type is it? Hue light strip. I'm going to call it that. Obviously it's not Hue, but that will work. Good old Hue app. Right. So let's go back. Color, kitchen light strip. And obviously as I click on the names of the devices, it's actually changing accordingly, which is really good to see. It's showing it's working. Kitchen light strip white. And to be honest, although I would have preferred CCT for the reasons I outlined in my previous video, this will actually work fairly well for me as well, because sometimes I just want to be dim in whites and sometimes I want to actually be going into full RGB. So actually the reality is it's rare that I'm actually going to want to merge both together. So this will work fairly well. Okay, so I've got those as light strips. Now what I'll probably do is actually add them up here to a particular room. So rooms and zones. So I've got my kitchen and I'm going to select those there. And again, you can see things flashing. Brilliant. Okay, so let's go into kitchen. So you can see firstly is RGB. What you can actually see is I've got my white color wheel and I've got my RGB one. So for example, I can switch them to different colors and you can see that actually things change accordingly. And then separately, I can actually come in and change the type of white. It's more of a pink kind of color. That's more bluey. Yeah, and you can see that sort of changing accordingly, which is really good to see. Okay, that's awesome. I'm really glad to see it working. As you can tell from my soldering, I'm not exactly the best at soldering and working with different cables, even though I have some experience with it. I'm not sort of ultra experienced, so I wanted to do this video and just show you all the different steps that you need to do to actually connect one or more LED light strips to a controller and actually to build your own LED light strip. It works out a lot cheaper doing it this way. I've actually got a customized run of around 4 meters worth of Zigbee based light strips, and it's worked out a lot cheaper than anything on the market, and obviously it's a lot more suitable to my actual install. So I'm really glad how it's turned out. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.